Well, hello, hello, hello. Good Sunday evening to everyone. Let's see. Got chat, but for some reason I don't see chat. Oh, I know why. Scooch that down here. Give me just a second here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with OBS. If there's anybody in chat, and if you can hear me, if you can just let me know that yes, you can hear me and understand me correctly, that would be great. Let me take this, scooch it up to here in OBS. If I can scooch up one more. There we go. Okay, so this live stream is going to be really interesting, and it's going to be interesting for the fact of what's going on with DJI and what are they doing on Amazon. And it's not just Amazon because, well, I want to go ahead and preface this really quick. Everything about this video that you're about to watch and that we're going to talk about is allegedly. I have no facts on this except for some of the testing that I've done. And, well, I'm going to play you a pre-recorded video. And what I mean by that is I did some testing with this camera and some of the points that I bring out in this camera. And then at the end of this video, we're going to talk about what is going on here. I don't know why my chat is not working for some reason. Chat scroll. Let's see. Hold to pop out. Don't know what's going on with chat, but is what it is. So let me find my video here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video. It's talking about basically on Amazon, I was looking to see if there was a sale on the DJI Action 5 Pro. And when I looked on Amazon last week, this guy came up. The Extra Edge Pro. And I found it really interesting because I was like, wow, it's the same price as the Action 5 Pro at I think it was $349 I had to pay for this. And it shows to be just like the Action 5 Pro. And I want to go ahead and play this video real quick. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. Hello, Oscar. How are you? Hello, and hello to you, and thank you for joining the live stream. During the play of this video, if there's some reason that you have a question, pop it down into the chat, and then I'm gonna try my best to answer all these questions. And we'll talk a little bit about the DJI Osmo Nano, because there's a little knockoff situation with that too. But anyway, on to this video first. Well, this is going to be a little bit different video because I was looking online to see if the DJI Action 5 was on sale. And I saw something that kind of came up, and it's this camera right here, the Extra Edge Pro. And I was looking at it and I thought, you know, it's really weird because it looks identical to the DJI Action 5 Pro, has all the same specs, can do all the same things, has the same size image sensor, 1/1.3 inch. But here's the kicker. It's the same price, $349, whether you get it on Amazon, the DJI Action 5 Pro, or you get this Extra Edge Pro, is also $349. So I figured we'd do a quick little unboxing. I'm doing part of this video for the live stream that I'm going to be doing on Sunday, talking about this camera. And of course, I'm going to show some comparisons between the two. Forgive the studio setup right now. It looks like the camera is a little bit off kilter, but if you saw one of my previous videos, it showed how the office was being redone. I had some sheetrock replaced because of water damage and all the flooring. But so far, this is what we've got here. Take this out. Got the camera. And you're probably wondering, well, what do I mean about a live stream and why is this suspicious at all? To me, it's suspicious because, is it because of the tariff situation where DJI apparently is going to be banned here eventually because a lot of their drones are not shipping to the United States now. And it also makes you wonder about a lot of the other products. And this extra company that showed up out of the blue now on Amazon is offering this rebranded DJI Action 5 Pro as the Extra Edge Pro, but they've also got another camera that looks just like the DJI Pocket 3. So let's just see what this thing looks like here. We're gonna take a seal off of this. Nothing on the back screen. And I'm gonna show some comparisons just side by side of the body. And then, of course, we're gonna have to throw it on a scale to see, does it weigh the same? But right now I'm just kind of curious of what comes inside the box that you get with this little bad boy kit here. Get a thumb screw. Looks like you get a camera cage, which I don't believe that my Action 5 Pro actually got. But if it did, then I will update it down in the comment section down here below. Or not in the comment, but down below the video screen here. Makes me wonder, is DJI, are they doing this because of the potential ban? So what they've done is started up this other company. If you look at the company name, and I'll put that below here too, that actually manufactures this camera, it's also another Chinese company. I cannot find anything online whether or not that this company is actually a sister company to DJI or not, or if they just happen to create this company out of the blue, and that way they can still offer their products to the consumers. And we've got the magnetic type clip mount on the bottom, which is, yep, let's see if its polarity is different. Nope, it'll go either way. And it does have a magnet on the bottom. Kind of curious to see if it'll actually hook up to the Action 5 Pro. It does. It's a perfect mount. Perfect mount. And I don't know, DJI, they may chime in on this and say, oh no, this is nothing to do with us. The battery on this looks just like a DJI battery, although it says extra on it. Let's see. Yep. Battery door opens up the same way as the Action 5 Pro. And let's get this thing turned on. It says extra. Obviously, the firmware is going to be a little bit different. 10% battery. Video. Well, I will say one thing. Motion Master is what they're calling Rocksteady on this extra. And then you got Motion Master Plus, and then Tilt Guard, which is going to be horizon leveling. So let's leave that on Motion Master, 4K, 30 frames per second. Let's see, we've got a Pro mode also on here. We've got 8-bit normal, 10-bit normal, HLG 10-bit, Xlog, not D-Log M, but Xlog 10-bit. So that's really, really, really interesting, because if you look at both cameras side by side here, and I'll turn this one on as well. And it's booting up. They look identical. Now, the coloring on the screen is going to be a little bit different, but I've got this one set to 5800 Kelvin. Let's see if I can change the Kelvin on this one here. Go to manual. Jumps up in 100 Kelvin increments. 56, 57, 58, 5800. Because I want to make sure that when I do a side-by-side test of these two, that it's actually going to be legit, so that there's no differences in it. Let's see, we got neutral tone, we got vivid. So we're just going to stick with neutral because that's what I've got the Action 5 set to. Let's see, adjustments, custom adjustments, texture. We know what texture means, don't we? Because texture is also with the DJI Action 5. And put this at -2, noise reduction, -1, so that they're identical. So if we look at the images, I don't know if you can tell, because it looks like this overhead camera is a little bit overexposed, but the images look identical as far as coloring. Yeah, it's basically a Action 5 Pro. So let's take it out in the field and see what it does, and if it does perform just like the DJI Action 5 Pro. And then we'll get back to my thoughts on why would DJI do something like this, because that is the ultimate question. So checking out this Extra Edge Pro, a quick little audio test of it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, against the DJI Action 5 Pro. Two identical cameras. They're both set to 5800 Kelvin right now. And same field of view they're supposed to be. Question is, see, I saw a trumpet. Yep. See the trumpet on the Action 5 Pro right there, and a trumpet right there on this Extra Edge Pro. But the question is, why is this happening? Now we know that when it comes to these knockoff brands, in China, that is a culture where they'll make a camera, and because it's made in a facility that makes a lot of cameras, they just rebrand it, change the name. But DJI, being the company that it is, it makes all of its own cameras, so it wouldn't behoove them to let another company steal their design. So this is definitely a rebranding from DJI. I think it has to do with the tariffs, because everything about this camera, about this Extra Edge Pro, is the same as the Action 5 Pro. I mean, everything, except the menu layout is the same. The icons are different. Some of the names are different. That's in the menu setting. Instead of D-Log M, it's X-Log. But I don't know. I mean, everything I see on the back of the screen, both of these guys look identical. I mean, it's an Action 5 Pro. And I did download the Extra Edge Pro app on my phone. And the app is just like the DJI Mimo app. But there is no firmware updates for it. So I think that whatever the latest firmware was for the Action 5 Pro is actually on this Extra Edge Pro. But yeah, same thing, 4K 120. You got that log profile. Everything about this camera is the same. Looking at the front screens, they are identical. There's not one that's a little bit darker than the other. They're identical. Let's just do an audio test, see if the microphone's a little bit different. The Extra Edge Pro, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The DJI Action 5 Pro, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shouldn't be any difference, because if there's not any difference, this is a DJI camera. But is DJI trying to skirt the tariff situation a little bit by coming up with this new name of this new company still offering a camera? And then we've got to get into the Pocket 3 situation, because the DJI Pocket 3, which I think is a fantastic camera. I mean, I really, really do. But now Extra has a camera that's identical to the Pocket 3. And I'll show you the little intro video right now. Well, what do you think about that? So, first quick question I have is, do you like this type of live stream where I show you a pre-recorded video, where I can actually show you examples of stuff during a live stream? If you could just comment down in the comment section below. Let me go ahead and catch up with a couple of these comments. Jimmy J, how are you doing, sir? Joining a bit late, chaotic day. Yeah, it's been a chaotic week. Homecoming for our daughter, and then volleyball tournaments and games. Yesterday she had a tournament that went half the day, so we left here at 7:30 in the morning and got home just in time for her to take a shower and get ready for the homecoming dance. So yeah, it's been really crazy. Let's see here. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. I'm thinking that it may be a backup company for DJI just in case Congress votes them out. Kind of like the Potensic drones. You know, I'm really starting to wonder if it has something to do with the whole tariff situation. But like I had mentioned, the name of the company that actually offers this, it's a Chinese-owned company. So it's really weird, but it's available on Amazon and it's next day delivery. Let me see. Up next. MH Reels. This is awesome. Hello, MH Reels. Welcome to the live stream. MH Reels, I really want to get one. I will throw a link in the comment section here in just a moment if you guys are interested. It shoots HDR. Yes, it does. It's exactly like the Action 5 Pro. I mean, exactly, except for the menu, some of the icons and the stabilization's called different things, and the icons look a little bit different, but otherwise it performs identical to the DJI Action 5 Pro. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it is the identical camera. And since DJI, like I mentioned in the video, is such a large company, I don't think that they're getting it from a manufacturing company, because what happens a lot is, and I'll use Akaso for example, Akaso will have a manufacturing plant manufacture a camera. And after that allotment of agreement that they've done for Akaso, these other companies can come in and actually just rebrand it and call it Worth It or Not Action Camera, or whatever the case may be, as long as they order a certain amount, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 of these units, then it's rebranded with a new name, and the firmware can be tweaked a little bit by these manufacturing facilities. So, but I don't think DJI is doing that. I think that this is I don't want to call it a shell company. Let's just call it a sister company. But it's really curious because everything I've done with this camera, I mean, even using the, I don't know if it'll show up on the screen here, the DJI 4 magnetic mount clip, and here's this extra, it clips right to it. Well, I say that. Let me get it on here. Well, I showed it in the video. It clips right to it. no problem. So it's the identical camera. The battery looks identical. The prongs, everything about it looks identical. Let's see. Jimmy J just got another commercial during the live. You kidding me? I even turned off monetization for the live so that we wouldn't have this issue that we had a couple of weeks ago. Gosh, I apologize. I'm going to have to dig into it. I'm going to have to reach out to my YouTube rep and find out what the scoop is with that. Jimmy J, ugh, my day isn't getting any less chaotic. Hopefully I can jump in later or watch the rerun. Oh, man, I'm really sorry to see you leave. I hope your chaotic day definitely gets better, Jimmy J, because you're a cool cat in my book. Let's see. Next one. Jimmy J, real question is, does the DJI Mic 2 connect? Yes. I tested it with the DJI Mic 2, and it connected to it just like that. So it was no issue. And even the DJI Mic Mini connects to it. It's really bizarre. Really, really bizarre. But, you know, I guess it's a good thing for the consumers if there was a discount where instead of you paying $349 and it's a basically, you know, when you've got this camera that's called Extra Edge Pro and nobody's ever heard of it before, and it's claiming all these things, and yes, it does shoot 4K 120. It does everything that the Action 5 Pro does. Everything. If it came in at a lesser price, then I would be more prone to say, wow, this is a big deal. I mean, you can get this for $249, or let's say $259. But for it to be the same price as the DJI Action 5 Pro is kind of bewildering to me, because it doesn't really make sense that they would have a sister company offering this on Amazon. And like I had shown about the DJI Osmo Nano that this other company has, and it's identical to it. Although in their literature online on their website, it talks about that their version can shoot 8K, which it doesn't seem feasible that it could shoot, because this thing does get a little bit warm. The Nano does get a little bit warm when you're shooting 4K 60. 4K 30, I had problems, and if you saw my one video where it was the first impressions video of the Nano, it did overheat on me, and it overheated and it shut down. But I was having issues with the phone, the Mimo app, connecting to the Nano to get it to, not register, what do you call it? Anyway, I think you know what I'm talking about. To get it authenticated and then get the firmware, and it kept disconnecting. And I think it was something about the factory initial firmware that caused it to overheat, because it needs to be validated and then the proper firmware put into it. But ever since I updated the firmware, no issues with overheating at 4K 30. I shot the homecoming parade, which was on Thursday, outside in 90-degree plus temperatures, and I did that for, that parade was like an hour and a half, and there was no problem with it. Let's see, Crayola DM. Okay. I don't know if that means direct message or what, but if you could clarify that down in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. And Jimmy J. Okay, well, cool, Jimmy J. You're hanging around here. I wonder if they're creating a cheap brand that will disappear after they manufacture, sell off all the chips and components, and probably overbought the additional sales in the U.S. market. That stands to reason, Jimmy, just because I can see where that's a possibility. But then again, if I'm not mistaken, and I've been wrong before about stuff, but if I'm not mistaken, I think DJI, they create and they manufacture the majority of their components. Now, whether it's the chip that they had to purchase an X number of these chips, because they don't make their own sensors. It's from a sensor manufacturer. Let me take another sip of my Starbucks here so I can keep up. My wife is so exhausted with all this homecoming stuff. Let's see. Crayla, I just tuned in. Do you have a link to the Edge? Yes, I can get you a link to the Edge. Give me 1 second here and see if I can pop it into the chat so that you can purchase it with my affiliate link because I'm a shill. It doesn't cost you any more, but it does help this channel tremendously. And let me get the chat and I'll put this in. And click. Okay, so that's in chat. The link is in there for you, Crayola. So if you want to check it out for yourself, definitely check it out. And if you have the Action 5 Pro, you're going to see it's identical. The weight, everything about this camera is identical. The only two things, well, there's a couple of things. Obviously, the name that's on it. The top button is this greenish color. And on the front lens, there is no specs written on it, where the Action 5 Pro does have the lens specs on it. Let's see. Going on, we got Oscar's thoughts and reviews. I'd be curious to see if the Potensic release... Let me try this again. I'd be curious to see if Potensic releases a Mini 5 Pro drone clone. You know, I understand the whole deal going on right now with DJI and drones because of the government issue and privacy and security and all that stuff. It's just really weird that DJI, unless DJI knows something that's going to pop up down the line regarding all of these products are going to be banned eventually. I don't see that happening because, I mean, you know, if you have a Sony camera, it's not made here in the U.S. It's made overseas. Let's see. Jimmy J, yes. You may have to... Let's see. I may have to leave. You know, Jimmy J, if you leave, I apologize about the commercial thing. I will definitely get with my YouTube rep and try to find out what the glitch is, because I made sure that I turned off monetization, so there's no monetization. I'll activate it on the rerun, but not during the live, because I could see that that would be super annoying, and I'm already annoying enough as it is. Jimmy J, same. Cheesy Grits 196, greetings from way South Alabama. Thanks. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for watching. You know, it's the viewers out there that actually watch this channel and watch my reviews and comment that I appreciate so much, because, you know, I don't know how many millions of channels are out there, or if there's even gotten into the hundreds of millions. I would assume so. But for you to take the time out of your day to watch my videos, to comment, and to like the videos, it all helps it tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. But more importantly, it makes me feel that what I'm doing is actually helpful to some people out there. I don't have a large channel, not with Worth It or Not. I mean, it's a smaller channel, and that's just fine the way that it is, and it'll grow to be what it's going to be in the future. And if it doesn't, it stays just like it is. And I'm very, very, very content, because I like the reviews that I do. And, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, talking about DJI, I like the majority of DJI products. The majority of them I like. And when I say majority, I'm going to say probably 85, 90% of their products I have very much enjoyed. And I have very much paid for all of these things, just like this last guy right here, right out of my pocket. And I buy it because they can perform well, but I also want to be honest to the viewers out there, because DJI has quite the following, and a lot of people are, you know, they look to YouTube about should they buy a product or not. And, you know, there's a lot of channels out there that are sponsored, and there's nothing wrong with sponsorship, because, you know, YouTubers, they got to eat too, and I get that. I just sometimes it feels more like an ad than it does a review, where they're just talking about all the great things about a product. And I guess if you're paid to make a video, you need to kind of make it like an ad. So there's kind of a catch-22, but like the DJI Action 3, I bought it with a lot of hope. And that thing was so out of focus and soft focus, it was ridiculous. And they kept on trying to add firmware to it to increase the sharpening, but sharpening is not focus. And, I called it out with what it was. And, of course, DJI, they'd never send me products. They'd never contacted me. They, I don't know if it's because my reviews are kind of brutally honest and they want more of a shill approach. And, that's not my approach. But anyway, let me get off that bandwagon here. The DM was just a typo. I was walking my dog and he pulled on me. Sorry. That's what you do. You blame it on the dog. The dog ate my homework and he also typed out or made me type out DM. Hey, no worries, Crayola. I didn't know if you were going to direct message me or email me or you had a question. Let's see. Okay, so that's the Amazon link. That's my shill link, as Casey from Camera Conspiracy would say. So if you do want to purchase it, you can click that link. And if you click the link and you check out the camera, Amazon will track you for 24 hours. So whatever you do purchase, I will still get a small commission. When I say small, I mean, we're talking tiny commission. It doesn't cost you anymore, but it does help out the channel tremendously. And I just want to say thank you ahead of time. Let's see. Who's up next here? Tim Wolf. Hello, Tim. How are you doing, sir? Started looking for a different wireless mic, mostly for my iPhone, looking at the DJI or Rode. Ulanzi would never connect to my phone or iPad or laptop. Any suggestions? I guess, Tim, there's a couple of questions. Are you looking for internal recording, or you're just looking for just the wireless recording directly into your iPhone? I do like the Mic 2, the DJI Mic 2, and I like it for the sheer fact that I can record 32-bit internally into it and then just pull the audio file off and sync it up in post. And if, this channel is more about doing product reviews, but, I've had no problem in the past doing a little bit of tutorials on how to sync stuff. So if you don't know how to sync audio from a different audio recording to your video, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to make a little video about it. Trying to think, what is the microphone that I just reviewed not that long ago? The Ceramic Air. That would be a good option because it does have either the Lightning adapter for older iPhones or the new USB Type-C if you've got like the 16. And that will connect to your phone. And the audio actually sounds really, really good. And if you saw in that video, because I did a video review of the Ceramic Air, it claims like almost up to 1,000 feet line of sight, which is bizarre because in everything that I've ever shot before, from documentary filmmaking to a smaller project that I did to one that I'm pitching right now to Netflix, 60 feet, 40 feet is workable for me. 60 feet is like an extreme, but anything more than that, I mean, that's not for me. I can see where somebody wants to be down a football field or whatever and record. But anyway, that probably was a longer answer than what you wanted. Jimmy J, I trusted you turned all that off. Probably a dumb YouTube thing. My same comment was about the Homecoming. Later, brother. Well, have a good one, Jimmy J. Yeah, Homecoming. Man, I tell you. See, I'm old enough to remember when you got a girl a mom for homecoming. It was, about that big and some ribbons on it. And then she wore it up on her shoulder, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Our daughter's mom, so she's a freshman in high school, was like this big. And I kid you not, this big and about 3.5 feet long. Yeah, easy, 3.5 feet long. And it just widened out. And it has a strap. She wore it around her neck. And apparently when you're a freshman, they're this big. When you're a sophomore, they get bigger. We saw one where this girl, kid you not, and I'll put it in a community post just to show you how ridiculous. Okay, so the girl's shoulders is like out to here, right? Imagine it going another 2.5 feet off to the right, 2.5 feet off to the left, and dragging the ground. A senior mom. That was, and these mums are expensive. So the boy that asked our daughter to homecoming, I mean, he definitely spent a pretty penny on that mum. I can't imagine what a senior mum goes for. Let's see. Tim Wolf, went to a great event last weekend. Gave up my GoPro 10. Well, tell me why you gave up on it. Oh, you just did. Too many glitches. The GoPro Hero 10 was what the GoPro Hero 9 should have been. Mine still works fine. The 11 is a good GoPro. The 12 with the speckles on it. Nothing really changed. The 13 was nothing. And if you guys want to talk about GoPro, I think that, I'm going to make some enemies out of this here. Because, it's really funny when it comes to cameras, whether you're talking about Canon or Sony or Nikon or Fuji, everybody has their favorite camera that they like. And you get these people that are like, massive fanboys, either DJI or Insta360 or GoPro or whatever the case may be. And I like Insta360. I like DJI. I liked GoPro back in the day. GoPro just released the Max 2. They released this little lit Hero with the little LED lights on it, the 4 LED lights. I don't know if that's supposed to be their attempt at solving the low light issue, but if they do not release a Hero 14, and I'm going to make a prognostication right now, if they do not release a GoPro Hero 14 that has a larger sensor and has better capabilities and more features, by the first or second week of October, you can pretty much write them off. Because they're not groundbreaking anymore. I mean, GoPro was the action camera to go to, but they're not that way anymore. And it's really a shame because GoPro, they were the ones that brought action cameras, something small, light, that could get really good footage of your action shots while you're out skiing or water skiing or whatever the case was, jumping into the pool with your kids. It could do all of that where you didn't have to worry about getting a big DSLR and getting a waterproof cage for it. And they were innovating at one time. Not anymore as far as I'm concerned. I think these other companies have, apparently there's a channel called Stir Fried German. And he talks about DJI and how ginormous that this company is there in China. That it is, I would venture to say easily 10 times as large as what GoPro is. And it's just because, think about the drones and all that stuff and the gimbals that they have. They're able to innovate with R&D so much faster than what GoPro's been. And then you got Insta360, who's really come on strong the last 2-3 years. With action cameras and 360 cameras. But it's kind of funny because now DJI is in the 360 market. Let's see. Cheesy Grits. We all like the videos you do. Well, thank you. I try to be real. I try to be as objective as I can because I try to look at my videos like I was a consumer looking for advice on making a purchase. And I don't want to be swayed one way or another. And that's why every camera company that I've ever dealt with, or any company, period, whether it's studio lighting or microphones or whatever the case is, I want complete control of the review video that I do. I don't want to be told what to say. I mean, okay, I have an affiliation with Artlist. It's not that they tell me what to say. They give me kind of like little bullet points that they'd like for me to cover as a little paid sponsored clip, here and there. And I don't have a problem with that because to me, it's like, okay, but I'll only do that for companies that I personally enjoy the product. I mean, if I didn't like Artlist and I didn't use them and I haven't been with them for all these years like I have, then I wouldn't do that type of deal. Let's see. Tim H, you've always given good advice. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And speaking of thumbs up, if you could thumbs up this video, that would be great because it does help with the algorithm because YouTube has gotten really, it used to be years ago you could put tags in a video and that would help rank your video up a little bit. Now it's all about viewer engagement. Did the viewer make a comment? Did they leave a thumbs up? And did they watch the entire video? And unfortunately, some videos take me, I guess if I took a bunch of Zip Fizz like Alan from Sound Speeds does, if I drank a lot of Zip Fizz, I'd be able to knock out review video because I'm talking 1,000 miles an hour and you would think that I was on speed. But sometimes these review videos, they take me 12 minutes or 15 minutes as a completed video, even though it took me hours to shoot it and collect all the footage. I don't know where I was going with that. But so anyways, sometimes the videos, they're longer than normal. And if you could watch the entire video, that does help out a lot. My future videos, I'm going to definitely be putting chapters in. Especially if it's anything that's over like 7 minutes to 8 minutes, I'm definitely putting little chapters in the bottom so that you can kind of skip around and get to the part that you want that's most important to you, the consumer, because some people just like stabilization. Some people like video quality. Some people like slow motion, frame rates, different color profiles, whatever the case may be. Your video proved them wrong. So I'm a little bit late catching up to the comments here. So I'm going to imagine it has to do with something about the Action 3 and it being out of focus. Please make a video about syncing. Okay. Not a problem. Give me, I've got to finish up the review on this. I've got a couple more tests because DJI, they did release a new firmware update for the Nano today. And I updated it, and I updated the Mic Mini, and I'm actually going to do a review of this Extra Edge Pro, comparing it to the Action 5, because, this is actually a good camera. But then again, so is the Action 5, although I don't think the Pro name should have ever been on the Action 5. But yes, I will make, give me about a week and a half, and I'll show you whether you want to see something about timecode syncing. I can show you how to timecode sync and also audio sync. I don't know what software they use. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I've been with them for, gosh, it feels like 100 years now. I've been with them so long, you used to be able to buy the disc, the program disc, for the new version every time they came out with a new version and stick it into your CD drive and download the new version. But now, I mean, I've been with them so long, it's like I can close my eyes and edit with it. But they've got a real simple way to sync up audio with video. But I will do a video on that. It may not be a long video because it only takes, it's just a couple of clicks. But you know what? It may help you and it may help some other people out there. It's an iPhone 15 Pro USB-C. 15 Pro. I'm trying to think what my daughter got. Because when we got the 16s, mine was a 14. Yeah, mine still had the lightning cable. So yes, a USB-C. So I think that the Saramonic would definitely work in the situation that you're looking for. And it's not that big and it's not that heavy. But I do have a couple of other wireless microphones that came in that are really inexpensive. We're talking in like the $40 to $60 range that actually sound pretty good. So you may want to wait just a little bit if you have time. Cheese grits 196. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? Yeah, just about. If you're talking about those mums, man, I tell you, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. But you know what? They all had a good time. They had an after party, and I was kind of hesitant about that because I was like, to me, I remember my senior year, if you went to an after party, you went to an after party, and it was a party. And I had a lot of trepidation about my daughter going out with, I guess you can call him her boyfriend now. He officially asked her, hey, would you like to be my girlfriend? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And but I was, so I set the ground rules. I was like, you can, homecoming ends at 10 o'clock. You can go to this after party till 11:30 max. That's it. If you drink any alcohol or anything, you are grounded till you're 25. But no, she's a really good kid, so I don't have to worry about her doing any of that. And she said she had a blast, but it was kind of boring. So I guess I like that about her. LOL, I must have said something that was funny. Let's see here. AK Freed. Hello, AK Freed. Welcome to the live stream. You've always made professional quality homemade videos. It's still not too late to get the I'm Back Yoshida action camera they kicked. So, you know what? Was it you that made a comment on one of my videos? Was it last week or a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about this Yashica action camera? I went and I looked for this Yashica action camera, and all I saw was kind of like a little mirrorless camera looking thing. Didn't see anything about an action camera, and I even Googled Yashica action camera Kickstarter, and nothing came up, but the Yashica website did. So I'll try checking that out, or if you could put me a direct link into the comment section, and then I'll check that out. Let's see, Jeff Winters. I wish they would make an action camera that was not waterproof for better cooling and with a better GPU and processing power when it is waterproof that keeps the heat in the action camera with a metal sink. SJ Cam made a action camera. It was the SJ7 Star, and it had metal. The whole top frame, side frame, bottom frame was all metal on it. It was not waterproof. You had to use a waterproof case with it. And that one shot 4K 30 with an Umbrella chipset. So it was a really good chipset. And that thing, it would get warm, but because of that metal housing, I think it was aluminum on the outside. I've got a box back here of all the old action cameras. Because, let's see, I was counting through. I've got 103 action camera reviews that I've done. Kind of bizarre. Excuse me. Allergies. If they could make an action camera that had better cooling. I mean, if you look at the GoPro line now with the little heat dissipation ribs that are on it, I mean, they're trying to do it, but unfortunately, it's even like a larger camera. You take the Sony a7 IV, or I can't say the a7S III because I've never had any issues with it overheating, but like the a7 IV, and you're shooting 4K 60. it's going to start developing a lot of heat because you're cramming so much data through that processor, trying to pump it into the SD card, or even if you're using what is this guy here? I got to download the footage off of this. That SD card right there. So it's not your typical SD card. It is the Type A. And that one will take a lot of recording time. But unfortunately, it just overheats super, super easy because you're trying to cram all that information in. So I do want to talk about this company here. Dream. D-R-E-A-M-E. Dreamy, maybe? But the company is called Lepatic. And that is the DJI Osmo Nano. But you see where it says AK, AI, Tiny Action Camera? I'm going to venture out and say that 8K is interpolated from 4K up. And maybe that's something that they're trying to do. But I find it fascinating that now we've got two companies out there that are reproducing DJI products that look the same, perform the same, different firmware versions, so the menu layout a little bit different, whether it's the icons and all that. I just find it really interesting because I don't know what DJI is up to. I don't know if, like I said, if the pricing was cheaper, then I would say, I shouldn't use the word cheaper. If the pricing was less expensive, then I would say, okay, it's a possibility that it's a different company getting it from the same manufacturing facility. But this is 100% DJI products. And I just don't know why that they would do it. Let's see. Zane Khalil. Hello, Zane. Welcome to the live stream. Overheating in the Osmo Action. Is that a statement or a question? I mean, in the Osmo Nano, excuse me. Is that a statement or a question? Because if you're asking me a question, it does get very hot. Now, I live in Texas, and it's luckily, knock on wood, it's been in the low to mid 90s now instead of the atrocious over 100 degrees. And at 4K 60, this does get pretty warm. Even just having it on without it recording, if you let it sit for like 5 minutes and you go up and you pick it up, you'll feel on the back of the module, of the camera module here on top, it's actually getting really, really warm. I don't know if we really needed this when we have, I'm going to show you a couple of cameras here. Oh, crap. Okay, I didn't damage the lens on that. That would have sucked. When you've got the Insta360 Go 3S, is that going to focus? The side, maybe, kind of, sort of. No, it's not going to. Anyway, you've got the Go 3S, or you've got the new Insta360 Go Ultra that are these POV type cameras. Did DJI really bring something new to the market? And I just say that because you've got the DJI Nano that has a 1/1.3 inch image sensor, the same that is in the Action 5 Pro, the same that is in the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. And you got to keep in mind that Insta360, they just released the Go Ultra that has a 1/1.28 inch sensor, which is actually larger. I don't know, but look at DJI. They got into the 360 market, which has been kind of saturated with, Insta360 stuff. So DJI has gotten into that, and now Insta360 with their new sister company, Anti-Gravity. They're coming out with a 360 drone. So they're kind of getting into the drone market. So I think everybody's kind of fishing for, you know, a little bit of market share here and there. Let me check something real quick because I don't see any more comments. So it may be everybody has gotten bored, got their information, and they're like, Andre's just rambling on here. And I am a little bit. Because the Starbucks coffee is kicking in quite well. By the way, if you have any other off-the-wall comments or off-the-wall questions, oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Trying to see. Okay, it shows 21 people are in here. So, okay, there's 21 people. So obviously there's a couple of people that are still watching. If you have questions about this DJI Action 5 that's been rebranded by the company called Extra Edge Pro, ask me a question about it down into the comment section. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. But one question I do have. So if you were part of the live stream early, the question that I have is, did you like the fact that I actually showed a pre-recorded video where I could actually show you stuff that we're going to be talking about during the live stream? So, because if I saw, if I'm doing a live stream and I'm trying to explain to you that, okay, video quality wise, this Extra Edge Pro is identical to the DJI Action 5 Pro, that's just me telling you, as opposed to me showing you that pre-recorded video. Was that helpful at all in the live stream situation? Let's see. Uncle Trapper Media. Hello, Uncle Trapper. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I saw that on TikTok earlier today. Interesting. You're talking about the this Extra Edge Pro camera? Let's see. Is it the same, like a rebrand to get around the U.S. laws for future DJI drone? You know, that's the big question. But the company, and I looked up the history of the company that is behind this camera, and it's a new company, but it's based in China. So if they're trying to get around the whole DJI tariff stuff with China, it still kind of makes me wonder, well, it's still a China product, so how are you getting away from the tariff situation unless you're trying to get away from the DJI name, where people don't automatically, instantly correlate DJI with China and tariffs and security and government issues. I wonder if they're going to come out with a drone. If you saw at the end of that video, before I talked about the little Nano knockoff, they've got their version of the DJI Pocket 3. And I gotta say, there is one thing about that video that I did like. So the DJI Pocket 3 comes in black. The one that they offer, this whole top part right here, and the lens is all in that gunmetal gray. And I thought that was actually good looking. I thought that actually looked really good. I think that's something that DJI needs to offer. But, you know, when it comes to the Pocket 3 is, first off, it's ridiculously priced right now. And second off, you have to wait forever to get it because it seems like it's on a massive back order. And it's one of the best pocketable cameras that, yes, you do have to take care. You're not going to drop this thing and get away with it. You're going to have to take some care with it. But then again, if you've got a Sony a7S III for $3,400, you're going to take some care with that camera too. Let's see. Uncle Trapper Media and the Extra Muse, the Pocket Clone. See, great minds think alike. Yeah, I just talked about that. Do the DJI mics pair with it? Yes. DJI mic pairs with the Extra Edge Pro. I talked about it earlier on the live stream, the DJI Mic 2 and also the Mic Mini. connect with it, no issues. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. Not sure if you knew, but Insta360 released a firmware update that mates the Mac Air with the Go Ultra through Bluetooth connection. Works, but only one mic at a time. Yes, I did update my Go Ultra today, and I checked for a firmware update. Where is that microphone at? Oh, here it is. And I did check for a firmware update of the Insta360 Mic Air. There was not a firmware update for the Mic Air, but then again, I just updated the Mic Air about 2 weeks ago. So I think that it should be up to speed there. I don't know if it only one mic at a time. I don't have two, so that's interesting to know if it's only one mic at a time. I wonder if you can still record an internal scratch audio. I'll have to check that out, or if you could answer down in the comment section, have you tested it with the Mic Air, and did it still record scratch audio from the internal microphone? Because it's always good to have, because if for some reason, you know, you turned your back, and I always like backup. I always like scratch audio on everything that I shoot. But yeah, they did do the firmware update. I did do it today, and I've been trying to be really good, Oscar, here lately, because I used to be really, really good. Every day I would check for firmware updates on these cameras, and then some time went by, and it got to a point to where I was only checking once every 2-3 weeks if there was a firmware update. And because I'm kind of leery, because I hate to do a firmware update and only introduce more problems or have a feature that's been removed, because that does happen. Because I know somebody was talking, was it the Nano? You have to bear with me. I think the Nano came out. The Nano was able to record 4K 60 in a square, that 4x3. To take advantage of the full sensor, and then that way you could either do vertical or horizontal video with it. And I think that they took that away and only made it 4K 50. But see, when they take away features, you know, I love the fact that they add features, but then they take away features. But anyway, back to the point. Here lately, I have been pretty good about once every couple of days, I'll check. And, you know, with a lot of this stuff, it's not that your phone updates the app, because I do update every morning if there's a new app update, but it happens to just be pushed through the app into the phone. And so I'll wait every couple of days, and I'll have to connect to each one of these cameras, just like, you know, for those that don't know, you've got the Insta360 Ace. This is not the Ace Pro. This is just the Ace. But it shoots 6K, 30 frames per second. It's actually a really good little camera. And then I'll check the Ace Pro 1, the Ace Pro 2, the X2, the X3, the X4, the X5, the Go 3, the Go 3S. You kind of get the idea. Because, you know, if there is some new firmware updates, I'd like to let everybody know, especially if it's something that's worthwhile. Let's see what else we got here. Oscar didn't test that, but I know Go Ultra works with two DJI mics at the same time. I did test the Mic Mini with the Go Ultra before today's firmware update, and it did connect. So I guess that's a good thing. You know, it's nice to see these companies that don't make it to where it's like proprietary. And I can only bring up GoPro, because GoPro, you had to buy, I don't know if you remember, but back when you had the GoPro Hero 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, let's see, with the 8 you could buy the media mod. The other ones you had to get that little dongle, USB Type-C with a 90-degree on it and a square, unbelievably hideous conversion plug thing to be able to plug a microphone into it. I was, and it's just like the GoPro Hero 5. For those of you that remember, GoPro Hero 5 came out. Then they released, because all these aftermarket companies were coming out with third-party batteries for the GoPro Hero 5, like Wasabi was one of them. And then GoPro said, no, big F you. We're going to make it to where it has to be an original GoPro battery that works in a GoPro Hero 5. It's just a little nonsense like that. I mean, are you that hungry for money? Oscar's thoughts and reviews. Also, the update was on the camera only. That allows the mic air to work. Well, that's good to know, because I wanted to make sure, since I saw that update and it talked about the mic air, and also in the update notes, it did say, hang on, because I took a screenshot of it. Added support for slow motion video playback, optimized power consumption, and heat management. Added super night mode, enhancing video quality in night scenes, which that's always a good thing. Oh, nope, sorry. That was on the DJI Nano. I did not do a screenshot of the Ultra. Oh, gosh. I'm glad today's Sunday, and I want to go to bed early tonight, because I got a massive, long day tomorrow up at the office with patients. But is what it is. Let me take a quick look, just for giggles. Since I'm using OBS, I can't see how many people are actually online watching the live stream, because I don't want it to be to the point where I'm sitting there talking to space and some poor guy logs in and says, who's this guy talking to? There's nobody in the chat anymore. Well, does this say 21? Waiting for it to update. Anyway, if you have any other questions about the extra action camera, definitely ask me down in the comment section below. Yeah, it says 21 people are on here. Well, I don't know what else we can talk about. We can talk about the DJI Nano. And did you watch my little video comparing it to the Action 5 Pro in its regular color? I think I had it at 5500 or 5800 or 6000 Kelvin. And then also in D-Log M. They're primarily basically the same camera. And in my review video, I'm going to talk about, is there really a need for the Nano considering its battery life? And the camera mount module, it's got a decent battery. The, what do they call it? The vision module, but whatever that this bottom, whatever DJI is calling it, the battery on it sucks. It goes through the battery pretty quick. And yes, it's supposed to charge the camera module, but when you have it disconnected, this bottom portion drains through the battery so much faster than what the camera does. And you figure that the camera is the one that's doing all the work. And I just don't know. I mean, I guess you'll see it. I know how I'm going to end the video. I've got to check a couple things with the that super night mode on the Nano, because so far the super night mode was super disappointing, because the Action 5 Pro actually destroyed the Nano, and even the Go Ultra killed the Nano when it came. Well, I shouldn't use the word kill. It dethroned the Nano when it came to low light performance. But hopefully Super Night's going to be improved after today's firmware update, or yesterday. No, today's firmware, because DJI had a firmware update and so did Insta360. Let's see. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. Took the family on a mini vacation to SeaWorld and took the Go Ultra. It's awesome. Go to Disney in a couple of weeks and should have my Nano by then to take it out. You know what? That would be a good test, especially if you take the Go Ultra with you, and if you have a little. This one here happens to be a 4 slot, but they make these where it's got 2 camera slots and a 1/4 right in the middle, so that you could put, a handle into it or a little tripod. But that way you can get some good side by side shots of it to see how they compare to one another. I think so far in my testing, the Go Ultra's battery actually lasts longer than what the Nano does. But think about this. And Oscar, I don't know if you have the Action 5 Pro, and let me know in the comment section if you do have the Action 5 or the Action 4 or the Ace Pro 2. If you have any one of those 3 cameras and you hold the Go Ultra, you feel the same weight. My point is, yes, this is nice that this can detach and that you can mount it magnetically or put it on a hat. But for those people out there that don't need that kind of point of view, where they're going to mount it onto a hat clip or onto their the front of their shirt, or they want to stick it on the side of the refrigerator or inside of a washing machine or dryer, they're just looking for action shots and getting good video. I'm kind of in a situation where I'm kind of torn, because then you don't really need this. Just get a regular action camera, because the Go Ultra is pretty heavy when it's inside of its action pod. When you think of weight-wise between the Go Ultra and like this DJI Action 5 knockoff, the Go Ultra, it actually feels like it's got a little bit more weight in it. I do have a weight test, but that's also in a video where the completed Nano video. Like I said, I've got a couple more clips I've got to do, and then I've got to put all the video together, and then the full review video will be out. I think that DJI overall will like the review video. I say overall because there are some things I nitpick about the Nano, and some things that I think that could be improved, that should be improved, and that may be improved with a firmware update. Let's see, Oscar, I'm taking the X5, the Ultra, the Nano, and Action 5 Pro. You are set. Then you are set. You are set. By the way, do you have the DJI Pocket 3? Because if you don't, and I want to touch on this one subject, and yes, this is kind of off the subject of DJI and Amazon and what are they doing on Amazon with this off-brand here that's identical to Action 5 Pro. But when it comes to these cameras that have built-in batteries that are not removable and not replaceable, a lot of people are very, very worried. I remember when I got my Pocket 1, and I'm going to have to look back, but I want to say that it was don't quote me, maybe 2017 that I got the Pocket 1. 2018 maybe. I'm old, I'm forgetful. But my DJI Pocket 1, the battery still charges up, still lasts just as long. I've had no degradation with that internal battery at all. And I remember so many people raising the stink. Oh, you can't change out the battery. What happens when the battery finally dies and it's went through its life cycle? Technology, this is 2025, and it's gotten a lot better. And it's something just to kind of keep in mind. Unless you're using a camera and recharging it 4 times a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, then you may have a problem. But otherwise, if you're just got casual use, and I mean, you're charging it 2 or 3 times a week and using it 2 or 3 times a week, you're not going to have any problem. Paul Feinberg. Hello, sir. The man in green. I tell you, if you want to know, by the way, you have to go check out Paul's channel, by the way, because Paul's got a cool channel, and the dude has, I am so envious of your weight loss. It's not even funny. Not even funny. You've done a great job, man, and you're looking super, super healthy, looking really good. I do like your color scheme of the green. Mine is kind of blue, I guess is mine, but I need to kind of get a little bit more blue going on. But Mr. Paul Feinberg, welcome to the stream. Let's see, Venom Kernels, welcome to the live stream. I just bought the DJI bundle. How's the Osmo 1? Osmo's 1. Are you talking about the DJI Osmo 1, the action camera? Mine still works. Still got it sitting right over there on a shelf. And it's on the shelf with all of my prime action cameras. I've got a box of all the budget action cameras that I've reviewed in the past. And I keep those for a reason because I like doing little comparisons back and forth. But the Osmo Action, DJI Osmo 1, I think it was the Osmo Action or Action? Yeah, Osmo Action is what it was. Anyway, I still have it. Let's see. Oscar, I think the X5 is more complete camera of all. I do have the Pocket 3. Not sure if I'll take it. It's not a roller coaster water park type of camera. That is very, very true. Actually have it for sale on Facebook Marketplace. How much you want for it? Drop me an email. But it has to be really cheap because I'm getting broke. Paul Feinberg, I know somebody asked, but does that DJI knockoff accept DJI mics? Yes, it does, Paul. I tested it with the DJI Mic 2 and the Mic Mini, and they connect to it no problem. I mean, as far as the internals of this Edge Pro, it's identical to the Action 5. Totally identical. The menu, let me show you here. Since you just chimed in or just got in on the live stream, I actually showed a video earlier of a little comparison side by side. But let me show you what the menu system looks like. Oh, let me get into this here. Where are you at? Okay. Can you see that? Hang on here. This is what the menus... Anyway, it's your perfect color. Paul, it's green. But the menu icons are a little bit different. The layout of the back screen is identical. But just some of the icons are a little bit different. But yes, it does work with the DJI Mic 2 and also the Mic Mini. Let's see. Paul Feinberg. Oh, thanks, man. Not a problem, Paul. Venom Kernels. Osmo Pocket 1. Yes, my Osmo Pocket 1 still works just fine. And it doesn't have, with that small little square screen on the back. Back then when it first came out, it was like so neat because it was all in one. But now when you're used to the DJI Pocket 3 and the larger screen, I mean, it's a night and day difference between the Pocket 1, but the Pocket 1 still works. Battery still doesn't have any issue. And Pocket 1, you definitely have to use a wide angle adapter lens on it because the field of view was just a little bit too tight for it to be in a vlogging camera. Let's see, Waffles, 1965. 1965 is a good year. I was born in 64, so I've got you by a year. I have the DJI Nano for about 4 days now and I absolutely love it. DJI Nano, if you don't have any of the Insta360 products like the Go 3S or the Go 3 or the Go Ultra, and this is your first venture into a small POV type camera, I could see everybody being super, super impressed with it. And it's not that I'm not impressed. I think there's a lot of great things about the Osmo Nano. There's just a couple things I wish that they would work on a little bit. Let's see. Waffles 1965, Mark. Must be your name. Hello, Mark. My name's Andre. Welcome to the stream. Venom Kernels bought the Osmo Pocket 1, 2, the 2 action, 1 cam for $450. Wow, that's actually a really good price. The Pocket 2, I never did get it, and they said that was like more vlog oriented because of the field of view on the lens. And for you to get 2 Action 1 cams, because the Action 1 is still a great camera. So no, that was a very good buy. Very good buy. Paul Feinberg, Nano is tempting since I can't seem to find a replacement waterproof gasket for my Action 4. Are you talking about on the on that side door of the Action 4? Because I know that on DJI's website, you're talking about that, or you're talking about on the battery side. Either way, I think that you should be able to get it from DJI. I may be mistaken, but don't know. Green Jam, yes sir. You are all about the color green. Chad Spinal, Osmo Nano would be perfect if they fixed the overheating. You know, Chad, by the way, welcome to the stream. I don't know if you were part of the stream earlier. 4K 30, I didn't have any problem with last Thursday when I was filming our daughter's homecoming parade float thing that they were doing with volleyball and basketball was out there, football players and all of them were on their floats. And that was a good hour 15, hour 30 minutes that I was out in 90 plus degree weather. And it worked just fine at 4K 30. 4K 60, it does get a little bit hot. My only overheating issue with it was when I was first initializing it and doing the authentication through the Mimo app, and the firmware update kept failing back and forth. Fail. Kept on trying to update it, and then finally it overheated and shut off. But otherwise, other than that, I haven't had any problems. I'll knock on wood. Bennis Productions, welcome to the live stream. Is the Mavic 4 Pro on a price drop on Amazon? It's listed at $21.99 on Amazon, but I can't find it for that price anywhere else. That I don't know. I do not have the Mavic 4. The last DJI drone that I purchased is the DJI Air 2S for some real estate work, and it meets all of my needs. I do look at some of these new DJI drones that come out, and I do get a little bit of the gas syndrome, the gear acquisition syndrome, but I'm like, how many drones do I really need? So the Air 2S has been great for me. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. If somebody else does know an answer to Bennis Productions question, if you can comment down in the comment section, because we are part of the community, so I'd like for us to kind of be able to help each other out. Waffles 1965. What is the cheapest third-party wireless mic that will work with a Nano? Let's see. I tested the Ceremonic Air with it, and it worked just fine. That's going to be in the full review video coming up next week. I hope to have it done by, if things go well, because I have to redo some low light shots since DJI, they released a new firmware update for the Nano today, and they improved the Super Night, so I need to reshoot because I want to be fair about it, because otherwise, hopefully they did improve it, because the low light capability really sucked on it in comparison to some other cameras that I compared it to, so I've got to go out and reshoot it. I'll have to check if you want Waffles 1965, if you can drop me an email, remind me, and I'll do some testing. It'll have to be tomorrow night after I get home from work. So it may be 8, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night before I run through some of the wireless microphones and test to see which one actually works. And then I'll send you a reply to that email if you'd like to do that. Paul Feinberg, behind the lens hood, the red gasket. DJI told me they aren't shipping parts to the U.S. and that they're out of stock and no ETA. Ooh, the red gasket. Are you going to make me screw mine off here? Ah, that dude. Yes. You must have been putting ND filters on your camera, Paul. I don't know if you're interested in an Action 4 that has a very good gasket on the lens, because I've never taken it off. Drop me an email, because I don't need the Action 4 anymore. And I may make you a really good deal on it, Paul. Anyway, drop me an email. Slappo Matt, welcome to the live stream. Just got here. What I missed? You missed a ton, man. You missed a ton. I've been on this live stream for, oh my gosh, looks like an hour and a half. We talked about a lot of stuff, so you may want to catch back up on the replay. Waffles 1965. Okay, I'll email you. Yeah, do that, because that's a lot better way for me to kind of remember. Because if I do a live stream, and yes, right now I remember your comment, but it's 8:30 Texas time, and by the time I go to bed and wake up tomorrow, it'll be totally out of mind. But when I check email, it'll be there again, and then I can get back, because I like to answer everybody's questions. Oscars, thoughts and reviews. Forgot to say the X5 also got an update today as well. Ooh, see, I didn't check the X5 today. I checked the Action 5 Pro. I checked the Action 4. I checked the Pocket, and I checked. Let's see. I checked the Ultra, the Go 3, the Go 3S, but I did not do any of the 360 cameras. Well, it's good for you to bring that up, because then obviously I need to go through the 360 cameras and see what kind of updates that are in there. Hopefully it did something good, because, you know, that is one good thing that I will say about competition when it comes to, and I know I banged on it earlier, why is DJI getting into the 360 market when Insta360 has been doing it for so long? The good thing about these companies that bring out new products that do compete with another company's product in that same niche market or niche market, is that when another company offers something that's a little bit better, instantly the original company, let's say Insta360, they look and see what's going on. They go, you know what? They get with the engineers saying, hey, can we tweak this a little bit and get a little bit better than what DJI is doing? Then, of course, DJI does the same thing. So it's kind of back and forth. So that is the good thing about companies competing with one another, because it benefits us, the consumer. Paul Feinberg, funny thing, actually, I was just using it at the beach and looked down, and the red gasket was sticking out. Oh, gosh. Because I never take it off. Then the filters I swap on. Might have to email you. Yeah, definitely email me. Wow, that's really weird. It makes me wonder if, did you cinch it down just a little bit more to make sure that it was still waterproof, and maybe that little bit of extra cinch is what pushed the gasket out? But yeah, that would definitely ruin that camera if it got wet. I remember the GoPro Hero 5 Black when I got it, and, you know, supposed to be waterproof. I took it into the pool. Our daughter was young, and I was videotaping her, and I was just putting my hand, kid you not, maybe 2 feet underwater while she's doing her little dive and her little dolphin thing that she would do. And I brought the camera up, and it was kind of frozen. The image was. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Oh, no, GoPros are notorious. You got to pull the battery out because it'll freeze up. When I opened up the battery door to take the battery out, water poured out of it. And, of course, I contacted GoPro. GoPro told me it was user error for me to go pound sand. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money to spend on a camera that was not waterproof. Luckily, I purchased it through Amazon. And before I put in a claim, I actually called Amazon to let them know what the situation was. And the response from GoPro and that they weren't helpful. And Amazon, good shout out to Amazon. They took care of it, said not a problem. They will defect it out and send it back to GoPro and let them deal with it. So anyway, let's see. I cannot believe I told my wife, because my mother-in-law is leaving back to San Antonio. I told my wife, I said, well, I'm only going to be on this live stream for maybe 45 minutes. And it's so weird because you get on live stream, and that's what I love about like this chat pop-up thing right here. To me, it is the closest that I can come to actually inviting you in on a live stream and listening to your voice, chat back and forth, because it gives me an opportunity, because it lets you know that I acknowledge you, not just reading your comment, but being able to pop it up so everybody can see it. For those that don't have chat pop up on their, they may be just watching on their phones or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Did you buy the bigger storage version of the Nano? Yes, I got the 128 gig. The funny thing is I was watching the announcement video. And I was really torn because somebody commented about the upcoming Nano in one of my previous videos asking if I was going to review it. And I was like, not unless DJI sends it to me. So I'm tired of buying up all their products. And, because I don't like to buy something and return it because I think that's bad karma. So, but I saw the announcement video and I went straight to Amazon, and there it was, and it was same day delivery. So I did get the 128 gig version. I do like the fact that you can add an SD card to it up to a 1 terabyte. But the problem that I have with the DJI Nano, and this is something that you may want to consider, Paul, is you cannot record directly onto the SD card. So let's say you stuck in a 256 gig or whatever the case is. You stick that in thinking that, okay, well, I can have that internal storage as backup. No. It's always going to record the internal storage, and you have two options. On the back of the screen, when you go to the storage area, it'll ask you, do you want to offload onto your SD card or to the computer? So basically, if you have 128 gigs worth of footage on here, you have to offload that onto the SD card, and then all of a sudden the internal storage is now freed up again for you to be able to record some more. I will tell you that the offloading, whether you do it from the internal storage to an SD card or take the camera and take a USB-C and plug it into your computer, the offloading time is ridiculously long. It takes forever. So I would say that if you've got, let's say you've got 120 gigs worth of footage, you better put a good 20, 25 minutes aside for it to just offload onto the SD card. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. That's going to be one of my cons regarding this. LOL, I tell my wife that too, and she knows better. Paul, I don't know if you know Alan from Sound Speeds, but he's notorious. He does his once a year Christmas live stream, and he'll get tons of YouTubers from all across the country that are either in the movie industry or they're audio professionals or they're boom operators, cameramen, whatever the case may be. But he gets us all together, and he does this live stream. The first one was, I want to say 12, 13 hours. And then it went to 24 hours. And I think the last one he did was like 32 hours nonstop. It's just, I could not do, maybe I could do a longer live stream if I had guests pop in where I could actually converse back and forth. But right now it just feels like, I'm trying my best to really just concentrate on the comments and make it feel as much in my mind and as to you, the viewers, that I'm actually having a conversation with you. Extreme Flights. Hello, sir. Made it while you were still here. Welcome to the party. It's about to end. You can pick up the tab. But anyway, welcome. Let's see. Yeah, I saw that you can only transfer and it takes forever to transfer. I saw David Manning's video. Oh, I haven't seen his video on that. David Manning, cool cat. Yeah, it's just, that's a bummer. I wish that you could do like with the Action 5 Pro. With the Action 5 Pro, yes, you've got built-in storage, but I also stick in a micro SD card, and I record it first because I'm always leery about built-in storage, and is it ever going to fail? But then again, same thing could happen with an SD card. But it's just really weird that they can't do that. Paul Feinberg, we can make that live stream happen. If you're talking about 24, 32 hours, Paul, you've got me maybe for about 8 hours max. I know Alan, and Alan likes to listen to live streams while he's working. Alan is a movie professional. He is an audio professional. He works on the big Hollywood blockbuster movies. And since COVID had hit and the IATSE strike and a writer's strike and all these strikes that have been going on, the market has kind of just dried up for him. So he's in a different field right now of career-wise. So his channel, Sound Speeds, is an unbelievably educational channel when it comes to audio. Different microphones, proper lapel placement, proper recording techniques. The guy is just an audio genius. I mean, and he's such a cool cat, too, because he actually came to Texas, and I was like, what, you're going to be in Texas? Come on, man. You can stay over here at the house with us. And we stayed together for a couple of days. The guy is just a blast. I don't have StreamYard, Paul. I may actually have to invest in StreamYard so that I can add in a bunch of guests. But, man, I'd love to do a live stream with you. No, just tag teaming it. Yeah, I guess that we could do that. Extreme Flights. Andre, I forgot. What's your day job? Oh, what's my day job? Main career, because I've got a couple of things that I juggle. So, and I'm getting at an age where I need to start slowing down a little bit. My day job is I'm in the medical field. So I have a medical practice and do spinal decompression. And my wife's a chiropractor. And we work in the same building. We own the building. She works on one side, and I'll work on the other side. And my main studio is up there at the office on my side of the building in one of the spare back rooms. So, yeah, that's what my day job is. Second job is videographer, cinematographer. And then I also shoot documentary films. So yeah, I've got a lot of different irons in the fire, so to speak. Let's see, Paul Cam. I have an eCam. Is that the software or the camera? Because you can see that I don't do a whole lot of live streaming. I know that Alan, he was using StreamYard, and I think he could have up to, don't quote me, but I want to say that it was, he could have 9 or 12 guests on at one time, and he could scatter them across the screen. But he would always have to have a couple of people in the waiting room. And then when somebody got kind of boring and he thought that they weren't adding to the conversation, he would like boot you out and put somebody else in and stick you back in a waiting room. But unfortunately, Alan, he's he's very bitter right now with the audio world and the movie studios and the unions. And so he's decided to walk away from YouTube. He's left up the library on SoundSpeed. So if you're looking for really sound advice, and that's the way he would end his videos, I would definitely go check out his channel because it's tons of information in there. Let's see. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. FYI, I was curious about the 9mm lens for the Sony E10. Super wide, super nice for vlogging, super affordable. It was surprisingly good. You know, if you're talking about the Viltrox 9mm for Sony APS-C, regular Sony E-mount instead of FE for full frame, yeah, I saw that lens, and unfortunately, I haven't heard from Viltrox lately because normally, it's funny because I did a lot of Viltrox lens reviews early on when they were just starting to kind of catch ground, and they were producing lenses for the Canon M50, which I was using at the time a lot. And, you know, I'd like to think, yes, I contributed to helping them grow because, you know, it was an affordable option. And now I want to say that the last lens review I did for Viltrox was the 85mm Pro, which is a great lens. But yeah, if you're talking about the 9mm, because I've got the Sony 11mm, and even though it's very wide for an APS-C, it's got crazy distortion. And then I do have another 9mm. Oh gosh, I use it on this one real estate agent's shoot for a listing that she had, and it was a manual lens, and I hated that thing. But it did not give you the fisheye look, so it was distortion free regarding its. Paul, you do real estate stuff too, right? What lens am I talking about? The manual lens, 9mm. Anyway, it'll come to me. You know, I am thinking, Oscar, hard about purchasing that for review purposes, but also for actual use, because 9mm, what that's going to equate out to 14. You're going to make me do math. It's too late to do math. Let's see. 9 times 1.5. 13.5mm. So 13.5mm for a APS-C camera. Yeah, that's nice and wide. I would definitely like to check that out. Let's see. Paul Feinberg, Ecamm live streaming software. And I used to use StreamYard. So Ecamm live streaming. Quick question, Paul. Is it capable of having multiple guests on an Ecamm? And why did you switch from StreamYard to Ecamm? That's just a curiosity. Wow, that said, Oscar, yes. Viltrox, yes. 9mm. Yeah, I saw it. They also have a 14mm for Sony full frame that I'm kind of chewing. Okay, do I want a 9mm or do I want a 14mm? You know, and they're under $200, so I think it's like $198, $196. You can get it on sale. But then again, if I'm being greedy, that's $400. And after Homecoming and all this stuff, I just ain't got it right now. Let's see. No fisheye on this one. Yeah, that's what I saw. I think I watched Mark Bennett's Camera Crisis. Hilarious guy. He's actually a stand-up comedian on his day job. So that's what makes him so funny on his YouTube channel. Paul Feinberg. Oh, Laowa. That's it. The Laowa. The Laowa 9mm. That's the one. You know, it's a good lens. I just hated racking focus with it, and I had a problem with infinity focus. When I had it on the symbol for infinity focus, it was just a hair off in the final video. We had to go back to that location and actually reshoot the whole thing. And to me, it was like too expensive of a lens to have to be that much work. Yes, because eCam has a lot of flexibility with design and layouts. The catch is you have to use Apple, so it doesn't work for all of your guests to come in. Yeah, I'm not an Apple user except for my iPhone. Otherwise, I am a PC, Windows guy. I don't have no stinking Macs. Let's see, Mark. Yeah, Mark Bennett. Yeah, Mark's definitely a good guy. Oh, you got to hang out with Mark Bennett at NAB. That is cool. That is cool. Yeah, I can imagine he's probably just as much of a trip in person as he is on his channel. He just seems like a very light-hearted, fun guy. He's somebody I could actually have a beer with too. Paul, let's see, Sigma 10-18 f2.8 is a great. It's great for APS-C. Sigma is a little pricey. That's the only thing. I mean, I did a collaboration with Sigma. Ooh, this is gonna piss me off a little bit because it ruined a relationship with Sigma. So Sigma does not send you lenses and let you keep it, which is not a problem. So I got with Sigma. The Sigma rep is actually the VP for big chunky United States, and he wanted to do a Zoom call. So we did a Zoom call. We talked about the lenses. He sent me 5 different lenses for me to review. I believe I had 10 days to spend with the lenses. I shot it all. I sent it to the next stop, which is it's like an intermediate company that will send it to the next reviewer. And you got to put a credit card on file so that if you don't damage the lens and all that. And I was good with all that. I was using SanDisk, the 2 terabyte backup drive. And they had just come out not long before that. So I put all the footage onto that. And guess what happened? That drive decided to corrupt and fail. And I went to multiple different computer companies trying to get them to salvage some of the footage off of it. And I got 3 small clips that was salvageable off of that. And I reached out to him and I told him, hey, I'm really sorry, because he was like, hey, how's it going with the review? And I told him, I'm really sorry, the backup drive failed. And I'm getting with Samsung about it. SanDisk about it. And they basically just blew me off. They offered me another 2 terabyte. I'm like, no, I mean, so unfortunately, and I can understand Sigma's point, but unfortunately it kind of ruined that relationship. And hopefully I can get back in their good graces, because I would like to review some of their lenses, like Arthur, who's down in South Texas. He does a lot of collaboration with Sigma. Anyway, that kind of went off tangent there. Let's see. I need to do a video on it still. On the Sigma? Yeah, I'd like to see you do a video on it. Sigma lenses are very nice. Very nice. Don't get me wrong. But they're pricey. And I know that quality costs money. But, right now in the world that we're in, and budget and kids and family and bills and all that kind of stuff, got to be budget minded. I can't be a total gas hog here where I have gear acquisition syndrome like a maniac. Yes, he is. You're probably talking about Mark Bennett, that he is Let's see. He doesn't take anything too seriously. That's kind of cool. Extra's not available on Amazon Canada. Uncle Trapper Media. Welcome to the live stream. That's interesting. Interesting. Website says that they're based in Delaware. I think Delaware is where they ship out of for the Extra Cam. But if you look at their actual company that owns them, it's a Chinese company. Pyle Feinberg. Yeah, it's double the price of the Laowa 9mm, but it is autofocus. And yes, that does make a difference. You know, I don't mind shooting manual if I'm using a monitor and I've got focus peaking on the monitor. Then I don't mind pulling focus at all, because I think pulling focus, it actually helps with storytelling a lot to move the viewer's direction to where you want them to pay attention to in the story. But, you know, autofocus definitely has its world. Ouch with the Sigma thing. Yeah. Let me tell you, I thought I was a rock star when I got to be able to hook up and do a Zoom call with him. And we were probably on Zoom for a good 40 minutes. And, I mean, we had a great time, laughed up a storm, and he asked me what lenses I'd be interested in, and I told him, and he's like, well, I'll just send you all 5 of those. Because I told him, I said, well, you can just send one at a time, you know. And at this point, I kind of wish that it was only one at a time, because then I could have only mucked up one lens review rather than 5. But, you know, it is what it is, and I can't change the past. I could only apologize to him as many times as I could. And SanDisk, actually, I'll do the proper finger for SanDisk with that 2 terabyte drive. What about the 9mm APS-C Viltrox lens, $199? Yeah, we were just talking about that. I like it. I saw Mark's review of it. I'm really torn between the 9mm Viltrox for APS-C or the 14mm FE for Sony full frame. Really torn, because I've got more full frame cameras than I do APS-C or Super 35. But, you know, I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to get a lens, I'd like to have that type of field of view lens for multiple cameras. That's just me. Paul Feinberger has autofocus. Yeah, I know. Viltrox has come a long way from what it used to be, because their autofocus lenses for the Canon M50, they were pretty loud and they were pretty slow. But I don't know if that was the Canon M50's fault too. But now with Sony, wow. Let's see, Paul. Yeah, I wish there was only one lens at a time. Sure, for a little backup right now. I tell you, I am also very, very backed up. I got COVID a couple weeks ago, and even though they say that COVID now is only supposed to be, you know, like a cold, and that's the way mine started. Mine started with, I was sneezing, and I had a little bit of a sore throat. And normally when I've had COVID before, my sense of taste, not my sense of smell, but my sense of taste was coffee, water, whatever I drank tasted like poison. And not that I know what poison is, unless my wife wants to tell me what she's been poisoning me with. But my sense of taste would go away. It didn't happen this third time. It was just, and then I just started feeling more and more run down. And then it started getting into my lungs, and I was just like, you know, for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and COVID test. So COVID tested, and it came back, and it was not the flu, A or B. It was 100% COVID. So, of course, quarantined until I tested negative. And I guess it's because I'm older now. I'm not a young little whippersnapper that it just takes me a little bit longer to kind of recover. But anyway, that was that. Oscar, guys, it's a really good lens for $199. It's a no-brainer. But let me tell you, it's worth it. I'll tell you what, Oscar, why don't you send it to me? Let me test it out. You send me that Viltrox lens, You let me test it out, and then I'll send it back to you, and then I'll buy one. No? Well, oh, you can't blame me for trying. Let's see, Paul. Yeah, I wanted a 10 millimeter Laowa autofocus full frame lens. I don't know. Does Laowa even make a 10 millimeter autofocus full frame lens? I mean, because that Laowa that I got, that 9 millimeter, that was a pretty penny back then when I bought that. That was, when did I do that house for Kelly? Gosh, that was out in Burleson. That had to have been 3-4 years ago. I'm going to have to take a look and see. LOL, I'll get you that 9 millimeter lens. You give me that, Mott. You give me that 9 millimeter lens, all right? Oh, you know, marketing guy for Viltrox? Cool, because my Viltrox rep, she's... oh, by the way, let me pop that up here. I know the marketing guy for Viltrox. Yeah, that would be really cool, Paul. Do you want to do that? Because I've done a lot of Viltrox lenses and product reviews over the years. And Chloe, oops, I just let that out, didn't I? When I reached out to her about, you know, hey, I hear through the grapevine there's a 14 millimeter full frame and 9 millimeter APS-C. I never heard back. So I don't know if she's not working there anymore. Usually if a rep leaves, a new rep will send you an email to let you know, hey, I'm your new rep, or that email will bounce back saying that it's not good anymore. But I didn't have that happen, so I don't know. Maybe they're mad at me about something. I've always talked good about their lenses because I do love the Viltrox lenses. Let's see, Oscar, we'll be working on a project near DFW around November. We'll talk. You know, if you think I'm going to wait till November for a 9 millimeter, I don't know. If I buy the 14 millimeter, then I can see waiting till November. What kind of project you working on there, Oscar? Working on a film project? Because I got a couple people local. If you need a sound guy, you need a lighting guy, need a camera guy, we'll be able to hook up and figure that out. Let's see, I lost all my FalCam connections. Those marketing people cycle all the time. I'll tell you, Paul, my Insta360 reps, the last 3, man, I know one of them for sure got fired because his email just like went to nowhere. The 2 before him, they got promoted up. My original rep is still working for Insta360, but he's like a top dog now. But I do contact him every once in a while just to see how he's doing, and he's always super friendly and very nice. And we've got a very good, cordial relationship. I've never had a collaboration with FalCam. You know, and that's with a lot of these companies. They get these people, and their job is to get as many YouTuber reviews people as possible to review a product. And some of these reps, they're so pushy. And as soon as they start telling me what to do, and then that's when I close the door in a situation and I say, either you're going to pay me X amount, this is what my fee is, or you can have a review of the product, but you're not telling me what to say, and I'm not sending you anything in advance. Let's see. Oscar Railroad. Hey, Oscar makes a lot of money. A friend of mine, he worked for the railroad. He worked for Union Pacific. Oh, gosh, who did he work for? Well, he worked for them for 22 years. He's making a killing in retirement. I know who you're talking about. He was at NAB 360. I'll say his first name starts with that letter right there. See if it's the same guy. If it is, just give me a thumbs up or say, yep, that's him. They are so pushy for sure. I try to be nice because you never know where they're going to end up next. Well, this is true. I mean, I'm very nice. I'm very cordial, but I'm kind of direct to the point because I can't waste my time if and I don't like companies, and I've talked about this before, companies that will send you a product and then afterwards they will send you this requirement. And as soon as they do that, then I'm like, okay, I'm out. I've had enough. Why don't you send me a prepaid return label, and I'm going to send this product right back to you because I'm not going to review it because that was not the agreement. Oscar, yep, I'm with UP. Oh, Union Pacific, but we're retiring in 2028. That's only a couple of years. Rock on, man. I tell you, people don't understand it. They don't appreciate the railroad system and also the 18-wheelers because the country would collapse. The economy would collapse without you guys because you guys and gals are the backbone of the industry and of the economy and help product move back and forth. And without you guys, we wouldn't have food on the shelves. Paul, yep. Okay, so you did meet him. He's a cool cat. He's really, really a cool cat. And by the way, Paul, if you need his email address, it's actually written in Chinese, but if you need his email address, just drop me an email and I'll send it to you in that way. But then again, if you met him out at NAB, then you probably already have his email address. Okay, guys, well, it is 9:02. It has been 2 hours of fun, but I'm going to have to... By the way, Paul, answer me this one question real quick. Let me scroll back through when you were talking about the software that you use. Ecamm. Paul, with Ecamm, can you have multiple guests on at the same time? Just let me know that real quick, because then that may be something that I'm going to have to switch over to and get off of this OBS because, and there may be a way for OBS for me to invite people in, although I haven't figured it out. It took me forever to figure out how to do the scrolling thing on the bottom and also be able to add up the chat. Oscar, thanks. I wish Congress thought the same way. I tell you, if somebody wanted to know how quickly the economy would crash and how they would complain, let all the 18-wheelers stop driving and all the trains stop going for 1 week. Yeah. Let's see. It's one of the third-party marketing companies, Knox and Fluor, their current product, and the band is super happy with IG, but dang, this guy's pushing to me. You know what? I get tons of, Paul, I get tons of emails from Knox Influencer from different companies. And it'll be a company that says they're this, but reply to Knox Influencer. I just always throw those into spam because I'm just like, to me, that's like a third-party company that's getting in between where they're getting paid to find a reviewer to do stuff. And I don't know. I may be wrong, and maybe that's why they're so pushy, but I don't know. Yes, you can't. Oh, Mac, you're right. See, coffee's already starting to wear off. You don't have a Mac. I do not. So I'm going to have to... Restream is also a good option. You can bring in a guest, and I'll host it on multiple channels. I don't know. I'm going to have to check out Restream, and then I'm going to have to check out StreamYard, and I just may have to go with that. But you know what? It's not going to be if. It's going to be when I do get StreamYard. Then I definitely want to do a live stream with you, Paul. I want to get Alan on. See if Curtis Judd can come on. Get Kevin from Basic Filmmaker to come on. I'll get a bunch of people on, and we can definitely make a fun time of it. And I may even get a couple of company reps to come on just to talk about some of their products. But anyway, it is now 9:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, Paul, you're down? Cool. I will let you know in advance, and it's probably going to be mid to late October, going into first part of November is going to be a little bit slow for me then. That way I can actually maybe try a 24-hour live stream. But anyway, for everybody that joined in on this live stream, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Your comments, your watching, it all means so much to me because, you know, I'm just an old dude that really loves products and trying to let you know, is it worth your hard-earned money or not? And that was the whole basis behind me starting this channel. And that's still the goal of this channel, is to let you know if an item is worth it or not, whether you agree with my opinion or you don't. I try to always leave it up to you, the consumer, and only tell you what my opinion is about a certain product. And my opinion is not the end-all be-all, but it's my opinion. And I do thank you for your trust over the years. And I'm going to go ahead and shut down this live stream. And once again, thank you all for joining. And I hope you have a very good night. And you have a really good week next week. And until the next live stream, next Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, check in. Until then, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.